February 8th, 1994, St. Paul, Minneapolis, the Ordway Theater. The Lincoln Center Jazz Orchestra is on tour, and Jon Faddis, it is great to hear you live and in person.
Well, thank you very much. It's good to be here.
Well,
It's a little bit cold out. It's a little bit cold out there today, but it's still good to be here.
on this 14th night of your tour, it seems like 30 days and 30 nights of Musadah, but you're making it coast to coast and keeping us warm. I wonder, as you play through this over half a century repertoire of music, as you go through it night by night, what do you observe and sense and feel about the music itself, the program?
Well, I think the music holds up, no matter how old it is. That the things that we're doing with the Lincoln Center Orchestra are classic in every sense of the word, not just from that Eurocentric idea of what classicism is all about. and I think what's for a lot of the younger musicians, myself included, not that I'm young anymore, but I think the music, playing these types of songs, these older things, help us to gain a deeper understanding of ourselves as people.
There's a special composition and arrangement there where you are showcased, and it is absolutely a demonstration of everything that makes jazz go round. Explosive, dynamic, things to come, and it really still speaks for the future, doesn't it?
I think so. I mean, the original recording is like 1940, 45 or 1946, I think, 46. And that's almost 50 years ago. And it's still, I mean, all of the things that we're doing, whether we do the Dipper Mouth Blues or Black Bottom Stomp, whether Marcus is playing a stride solo, all of those things are holding up pretty well. And I think it's very important for people to be able to hear those things and to start to relate to them, especially younger people that haven't had that opportunity to be able to do so with live music.
I'm going to ask you about, as you go night to night and you sense the audience in different cities throughout the United States, what's the reaction out there? What do you sense?
Well, there have been a couple of mild audiences that were a little bit passive. I think they didn't know whether to clap or not, as you witnessed tonight at the end of I Mean You. But for me, a lot of the importance lies in the hall, and I think there's a wonderful hall we're playing in tonight. I mean, I can hear myself without any microphones. I can hear myself coming back, so it feels really good. And I think when the artists feel something like that, then we can give a little more. When we play in a nice hall and we can hear ourselves and it feels right on stage, then I think we show that to the audience and bring them up too, and they respond, and it's sort of a dialogue between the audience and the band.
You're traveling much the way Jimmy Lunsford and Duke Ellington and Andy Kirk and Stan Kenton and all of the rest travel.
I like that tradition, man. These bus rides are killing me.
Does it increase the dialogue, and do you do a lot of exchange? Do you pitch into it philosophically, or do you escape?
A little bit of both. Depends on the fatigue factor. But we have a couple of the masters of dialogue of the band bus here in the room, Mr. Adonis Rose and Mr. Joshua Redmond. Although Joshua's he's actually the quiet person on the bus, but when he says something, he means it.
Jon Faddis, it's just a pleasure to touch base with you in the middle of the tour, 14th night, and there are about 35 more days to go, or maybe one half of that.
I think we got another 3 weeks or so, somewhere around there. Is it 26th of February? So whatever day this is, the 8th. So we have like 2.5 weeks left.
When you get to the end of the tour, and you've been on these tours before, the United Nations Orchestra, especially with the Lincoln Center project, it's very special. How do you sense the mission?
I think what Wynton and Marcus are trying to do with the band is very important, not only for the musicians who are being honored to be able to play in such an ensemble, but for the audiences. Because as I said earlier, a lot of the people out here, especially the younger people, haven't had a chance to really experience this kind of music. And I know that once they do, we usually get a lot of converts.
Jon Faddis, thank you very much for taking time backstage here at the Ordway Theater, St. Paul, Minnesota, on the 14th night.